Hey guys, Ponce here, and today I will be discussing with you the announcement for Yasuo, the second announcement, and sort of the outlines all his abilities and all that kind of stuff. I just want to make it clear what this video is all about. This he is not on the public test realm yet, at least not as of the filming of this clip here. So if you're looking for that, that will be placed or linked to in the description below or in the annotations at the beginning or the end of the video somewhere. But yeah, look in the description. I'll have links to that. If you're looking for gameplay, wait out in the future. But for now, I just kind of wanted to talk about the initial announcement, detailing his actual abilities, what that means for what I think he can do in game, and stuff like that. Also, the link to this announcement on the League of Legends page will be posted in the description below. So that'll be the first thing. You can go click that and read that for yourself. But yeah, let's close this. That's a little picture of him there. So he's called Yasuo the Unforgiven. Instantly, not Yone, like some people were insisting in the comments. I don't know why you would have thought that, because literally speaking, from a literary perspective, like it didn't make any sense for that initial lore announcement to be about anyone else. But anyway, yeah, Pods 1, Internet 0. Thank you very much. All right. So yeah, there's a little bit about what he's kind of supposed to be like, and there's a lore bit down here. You guys can read the lore bit if you're interested for yourselves. I'm not going to read out this big story here, but in any case, I'm going to read over his abilities primarily and what I think he's going to be all about. And if you're interested, you can read about what Riot thinks he's capable of in here. I actually haven't read this, so what I'm saying may actually be in sync with this. But in any case, I just mainly kind of read the abilities and came to my own conclusion. So initially, we have his passive, Way of the Wanderer. So it's got two components. Intent, Yasuo's critical strike chance is doubled. Quite interesting. The other component is Resolve. Yasuo gains flow as he moves. The faster he moves, the faster his flow meter fills. When full, Yasuo activates a brief shield after taking damage for enemy champions or from enemy champions or monsters. So yeah, that sort of right there highlights his sort of high damage, high mobility idea behind him. And the passive provides, I guess, a little bit of tankiness, which comes with the mobility. I like high mobility champions, so that's good. Q, Steel Tempest. Yasuo thrusts forward with his sword, damaging all enemies in a line. Successfully landing Steel Tempest grants Yasuo Gathering Storm stacks for a short period. The third stack of Gathering Storm causes Steel Tempest to send out a whirlwind that travels in a line and sends all enemies caught airborne. If Yasuo casts Steel Tempest during Sweeping Blade, the ability strikes all enemies immediately around him. W. Windwall. Passive. Dashing replenishes Yasuo's flow meter. So that probably interacts with his Sweeping Blade, which I'll talk about here. It seems actually a lot of abilities interact with Sweeping Blade, so yeah, I'll get to that in a minute. Active. Yasuo creates a wall of wind that slowly drifts forward for a few seconds. That wall, or the wall, blocks all enemy projectiles. Now, I don't know if that's all projectiles, period, or just skill shots. Since they're saying just projectiles, I imagine any kind of projectile, which would be incredibly powerful. But in any case, moving on. E. Sweeping Blade. Yasuo dashes a fixed distance through an enemy, dealing damage and marking them briefly. If Yasuo uses Sweeping Blade multiple times in succession, the ability deals extra damage up to a cap. Yasuo cannot use Sweeping Blade on an enemy that has already been marked. So basically, you can't spam Sweeping Blade on one guy. From sort of a lore-ish kind of perspective, that's pretty cool. A Sweeping Blade is sort of like one of those, I'm imagining, it's very anime-ish, you know, I imagine one of those EI battle things. You know, two guys are standing on a field with, you know, a grassy field with the sunset going on in the background, and just standing there, and there's a music, and then and then like there's a flash across the screen, and suddenly they've traded places, and they stand there for like 5 seconds, and then just one of them dies. But anyway, moving on. All right, last breath. Yasuo teleports to a nearby airborne enemy champion, briefly suspending them and all surrounding airborne enemies mid-air as he damages them. Once he lands, Yasuo gains significant armor penetration against his enemy's bonus armor for an extended period of time. So note how they say bonus armor here. I should mention, like, none of this is final, so, you know, who knows how accurate this is. Some of it might change between now and his actual release. But bonus armor means, you know, you can't target a squishy and then, like, completely destroy their armor and they're in the negatives or something. This is like a tank killer, almost, or at least there's a tank killer component to this last breath. But that's pretty cool. Yeah, overall, the feeling I'm getting from this is sort of a mix between Master Yi and Fiora, except he's a lot more combo heavy. Like there's a lot of interaction between like Sweeping Tempest, uh, or Steel Tempest, Sweeping Blade, and Last Breath. Just because they work differently, when you use them certain ways. Like I said, Wind Wall is kind of the thing that seems to stand on its own a bit, and its power is really going to depend whether or not it blocks non-skill shots. Now, from what I gather here, it's saying I did read a little bit of this, not all of it, but they're saying he should go mid lane because he's got crap early game damage, and it looks like he doesn't really have an escape. I mean, he could dash to like a jungler who's ganking from behind or something. Um, I think with a lot of work, you could make him work top lane. Kind of like how you can make Fiora work top lane, though she's not that, well, I don't think Fiora's that great, which is a bit of a problem with her. For my sake, I'm hoping I can make it work that way. I can conceptually see how you can sort of get it working. Like they were saying, right, saying down here about how his damage sucks early game, and he kind of ramps into it, and that he also kind of he's more of a sustained damage over time kind of guy. So I'm hoping there's a viable option to make him sort of a tanky bruiser DPS kind of thing. That's definitely what I'll be experimenting with when he's on the public test realm. The straight way of playing it definitely seems very build-wise very similar to Master Yi. I imagine that's how they want you to play him, or may not want to play him, but that's kind of like your cookie cutter build. This is what you do, sort of way of playing him. Maybe not. That's just my guess. I don't know. I was saying, if he was just a straight up Master Yi plus Fiora, I would be kind of disappointed with this kit. But the thing is, the main thing is there's a lot of interaction, and I think the better you get with interacting between this sort of three primary damaging abilities, um, that'll separate sort of average Yasuos from really good ones. That's the impression I'm certainly getting. The other kind of thing I find a bit strange here, or maybe not strange, but somewhat telling, I suppose, is the intent portion of his passive. Yasuo's critical strike chance is doubled. That is absolutely massive. Um, I don't know if that means they want you to get a little bit of crit on him and then just double it to have pretty good crit, or if you're supposed to just go all out ham crazy crit and just be critting everything. In which case, that does make him very glass cannonish in his approach because crit sort of, crit works well with other offensive stats. If you have just crit and you're dealing like crap base damage, it's not that great. Um, so from a synergy perspective, you want a lot of crit with a lot of other damaging stats. Uh, it also looks like, as far as I can tell, none of these other abilities crit, so that he's also got a fairly strong auto attack component, I would guess. But maybe these other things do have a chance to crit. Who knows? It doesn't say though, so I don't think so. But again, this is an initial announcement. Note how it doesn't tell you exactly what it does. So it could, these other abilities could possibly crit. Don't really have too much to say on that. Maybe actually, why don't I talk about his kit? Doesn't look very jungler friendly, especially when you consider that they're saying his early game damage is crap. Well, it's not exactly what they said. His early game damage isn't very good, is what they're saying. It ramps up. Um, I mean, judging from how, because this is also coming in with the season 4 changes, jungler is also the jungle is a very different thing right now. So I mean, if you could get him to jungle, and the fact that his early laning is supposed to be not very good, jungler might end up being an ideal for home for him, sort of in a similar way to how carry Mastery or carry Aatrox is supposed to work in the new season 4 jungle, where it's more gold. That could be a definite possibility. I wouldn't mind doing that personally. I mean, it's always been kind of an ideal thing. Melee style AD carries who sort of aren't very good in lane, like Mastery or, well, people will say Aatrox is good in lane, but he's too snowbally in either direction. He's very unreliable, which is why I say he's much better in the jungle. So yeah, Aatrox in season 4 jungle. If this guy could pull it off in the jungle, he will get shunted there just by the looks of things. If I can make him work top lane, which I really want to, I will try my damnedest to do the tanky DPS thing and try and get him to work. We'll see how it works out. But yeah, it should be fun. It looks like he's got a fun kit at the very least. That's the one thing I'm going to be fairly, I can be fairly concrete on. All the interaction looks fun, but I'm going to stop rambling on and saying the same thing over and over again. So I'm going to get the hell out of here. I got to head out. Since also, I'll get my streaming schedule back in order since Season 4 is upon us, or at least the changes are. So I'll see you guys around, and we'll be getting you guys the gameplay footage up for this new guy as soon as he's available on the public test realm. Please don't ask me when he's going to be on the public test realm, because I have no idea. For all I know, he could be put up in 10 minutes. I doubt it, but anyway, I'll see you guys around. Goodbye.